Well, it's update time on the 69 Roadrunner, the B7 Blue Post car, and things are very different. We'll just put it at that. So, what we've done since you last seen it, we've done quite a few things. First of all, as you can see, the front clip has been taken apart. Um, Second, we have stripped this quarter panel, started some of the bodywork process, started working on that door. We're probably going to end up abandoning ship on that door because it's taking a lot more filler than I'm comfortable with. Um, that being said, I'm looking for a door. We're going to look at a couple different options there. I should have one, but I'm not 100% sure on that. We'll have to see what happens. Furthermore, I just pulled this window trim off and found more rust, and this whole back package tray area will be replaced. I ordered that today, so that should be here hopefully within a week, and we will get that cut out and replaced. And at that point, other than a couple little things to do, this car will officially be rust free. So in here, we apologize for the dark. Let me see if I can get my light here to work. Yeah, kind of. We repaired the wheelhouse in this area and repaired a corner of the trunk pan in this area. There's a couple more pinholes to weld up, and then the trunk pan area will be rust free as well. Shut that off. And then we just need to do this lower quarter section, which is prepped and ready, and it's right here. So we've got the panel that needs to just get tacked in place and fully welded as we go. Again, more rust in the window channel here. I have patch pieces for this area, but this whole package tray will come out because you can see I can just about stick my finger in there, and that's no good. So other than that, again, like I said, front clip did come off. All of this looks great. A lot of original paint and stuff in here. A little surface rust, no major rust at all. Even under the battery tray was nice and solid. The firewall is great. There is some front end damage here. This piece kind of curves out and back in, so we'll have to try to straighten that out. And this little corner is broke off, so take a good look at that versus here what it's supposed to look like. So that tells me this thing was probably in a little front end crash here. And another thing that tells me this was in a little front end crash is because if you take note, this is an undercoating car, and this is the driver fender, and it has all the undercoating. Well, there's the passenger fender, no undercoating, and it's got its original Mopar part number there. I believe this is was a NOS fender that they ended up putting on the car, who knows, maybe in the 70s. I'm guessing it was probably in some sort of front end collision where it bent up the original fender and broke that little piece off, and this is what they put on it. So yeah, that's kind of my theory as of right now, and it's all speculation. But there's not an ounce of undercoating anywhere on that fender, as opposed to here, the original fender is covered in undercoating. And these fenders look pretty good. We may end up replacing them. This one's smashed pretty good on the bottom, so this would have to be reworked completely, but there's no rust. There's no rust anywhere on this fender, so it's definitely a very nice piece. Even if we don't end up using it back on this car, we may end up using it on a different car because we've got plenty of these cars. We've got 7 of them, so that's kind of where we're at on that. So a quick update as far as the plans and the goals for this car, because I want to get more into that, and I want to get more clear on what the expectations are. So we're working on the body work. This all needs to get, redone, sanded, all that. Everybody's going to look, like I've said in the previous video, everybody's going to look and see, oh, it looks like a lot of filler there. Yeah, well, a lot of it gets sanded right back out. And this is getting close. This area is getting close, but it's not there yet. So we're going to be finishing out the body work here, hopefully finding a better door, starting to do body work all around the car. But the main goal is get that quarter done, get the trunk pan, stripped, wire wheeled, cleaned as best as we possibly can. I want to hit it with the rust encapsulator stuff that goes over and kills any kind of rust. And obviously we're going to get as much of it out as we can. But that'll be a good sealing barrier, and then paint right over top of it and go with its original B7 blue in the trunk. And kind of the same goal for the front. I'm not sure if we'll use the rust encapsulator on the front, but we may. And I want to paint basically everywhere in the door jamb here, all the way along the kind of cowl seam in here, in the engine bay, everything back to that B7 blue. And before that, we're probably going to end up dropping the suspension. I'm going to build out a whole new K-member for it. All original style stuff, but probably a different K-member. With just because I have another one that I can bring to a local place, have it dipped, cleaned, painted, all that. And this thing will have brand new suspension. I have another rear end I'm probably going to build for it. I'm going to be looking for some 355 gears if I can find some. Because the rough draft for an engine in this is I got a 70s 440 engine short block, actually with the heads too. So I got basically a whole engine from my buddy Jed over at Scott's Speed Shop. And that we ended up bringing down to a machinist friend of ours, and he's going to go through and just hone the cylinders and probably take a little bit off of the deck surface. And the heads already have new guides put in them and have been decked a little bit as well. They are 452 heads that have had some mild port work done with stock size valves. So it should run good. It has forged pistons. By the time we're done with it, it should be about 9.5 to 9 3/4 to 1 compression. It should be a very nice running engine, probably with a Performer RPM intake and headers. And we're kind of jumping around a little bit on a cam, but somewhere near a 509 cam, somewhere near that 500 lift, mid lower 200s in the duration. Keeping an eye out for something like that. We're still undecided. So we're going to do that. It's not going to be anything crazy, but we will also dyno the engine. I'm thinking that combination should, potentially be in the 450 range for horsepower, probably 500 torque. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. That's going to be kind of its own, mini series within working on the car. But yeah, that's kind of our main goal, is get the engine bay completely done, painted all the way around, and new fresh black K-member with all the stuff, torsion bars, the whole thing. It'll all get stripped and painted and replaced, whatever needs to be replaced. I have a brand new steering box for the car. I have everything. I have all kinds of stuff for this car. So that's the goal. Then we'll have the engine in it. We want to paint all the way down to the firewall seam down there. And then from there back, I'm not sure if we want to just leave it alone and leave it original, or if I want to coat the underside. If I want to clean the underside and coat it with that rust protective, that rust encapsulator, or I might just leave it alone. I don't know. I'm still undecided on that. But that's what we're dealing with right now. So as far as what's next is, I have to pull the back glass for obviously replacing that panel, cut that one out, put a new one in when that shows up. Also need to pull the windshield out, because I need to get in behind there to get this wiper motor linkage situation figured out, as well as all this wiring. I don't know if you guys will be able to see or not, but all that wiring fell apart and crumbled. Remember, this is an Arizona car, so everything that was plastic or rubber, it did not last. So I'm gonna have to redo all the wiring, which I have, thankfully, and probably pull all this stuff off the firewall so we can paint. And then while I'm in there, I will restore the dash, paint it the correct blue color, probably do the kick panels and whatever other stuff we need to do while we're in there. So I have a new dash pad for it. I've got some pretty nice lower dash pads for it. So we'll see how all of that goes. And then we're going to have to deal with other interior related things as well. This is a factory tack car, factory air conditioning car. At this point, I don't intend on putting the air conditioning back in, but I will leave the air conditioning heater box in it. So if myself or somebody else down the road wants to put the air conditioning back in the car, it's still there. So everything in here is really nice. Might end up coating the back half of the floor in the rust encapsulator again, because there's some surface rust there. But the front is a little dusty there, you see, but it does not have any surface rust even. So not too worried about that. I'll have to order a ton of parts for this car. I can't even imagine. I'm gonna have to probably make a list half a mile long just on little stuff needed. But that's the goal, and we are going to try to get, like I said, very nice paint in here, paint in the trunk, and we want to get the whole car body worked best we can. And the goal at that point is eventually to paint it, but it's very possible that it could be a running, driving car in primer or still in bodywork phase while this is all going on. And that's why we're deciding to do the engine bay first, so we can get it running, get it moving under its own power, and then go from there. And it's just, there's a lot of order that things have to be done in, because I'd love to just, take the windshield out, redo the dash, put it back in and forget about it. Well, I shouldn't. I should leave the back glass and the windshield out and have somebody do a headliner in it, because once you put that glass back in, you're kind of stuck. So it's definitely going to be a little bit of a one thing leads to the next process. But we'll see how it goes. I'm not too worried about this. As far as the process goes, I've done all of this before for the most part, so I'm really looking forward to doing a Roadrunner. I have not done a Roadrunner, but I did a lot of this stuff to the 69 Super Bee minus the painting side. So definitely looking forward to getting back to spraying some paint, because it's probably one of my favorite parts, and it's something I haven't done in a little while. So it'll be nice to get the jam work done and go from there. So definitely let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys want to see on this, if there's any specific parts that you want me to focus on. And definitely, consider like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm trying to get back into making some more videos and getting some more stuff out here for you guys. I know I've been kind of low on video count, but I definitely appreciate you guys that are kind of staying with me in this process. So definitely thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.